project I have today is on edging. So if you look down here, I have flower bed here and lawn, and in time, as you all know, this grass will just keep on creeping into the flower bed here. So I really want to do some type of edging here. My idea is to use some of these pavers and put it in here. Now, I've seen lots of videos on YouTube on how to do edging. Some of them suggest you just dig a little hole and just put it straight on top of the dirt like that. Problem with that though is that the grass will just go underneath the brick and into there, and you know, by next year I'll still have grass growing into the bed. But I don't want to have the grass growing into the flower bed, so I want to stop that. So to do that, you're going to have to dig deeper and either put some black plastic there or reed mat, or in my case I'm going to use concrete. The other thing that I don't want to have also is, if I step on the brick, I don't want it to, I don't want to have it move if you step on it. So I want to have it all perfectly straight and keep it straight for a long time. My plan is to do concrete here, a little bit more effort, but it's a more permanent solution that I shouldn't need to worry about for a very long time. So the parts that you need for doing edging is, first of all, concrete. Now you could make it up yourself. I found this is a very convenient bag. It only costs like, I think, just under $4 from Home Depot. So that's very convenient just to use those bags like that. Also, I'll need some type of trowel. Now this trowel I'll show you later on. It's more for the edges of, when I do the edges of the pavers. Make sure I'm going to have, so the idea is that I'm going to have a little bit of concrete, probably halfway up the paver, so it just keeps it nice and snug under the concrete and in between, so it won't be able to budge at all. That's going to help with that. Of course, we need pavers. I need a shovel. The shovel I'll show you in a minute. And of course, my favorite digging tool is a mattock. I'm going to need that one. The wheelbarrow is where I'm going to mix up my concrete, so I'm going to put the concrete in the wheelbarrow with a bit of water, mix that up. And then over here, you can see I've got this pipe. Now I've got, my garden edges have curved edges, so to help with it nice and smooth, I have this pipe here that I've used some pegs. You can see a peg here, 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 and over here. That just keeps it nice and tight, and the idea is I will grab this shovel and make a channel. So right against the pipe here, I'm going to use this to make a channel of probably twice the width of one of these pavers. So the idea is paver will go in there and have a little bit of room on each side to have the concrete. So just a channel. Now I plan to go about 5 or 6 inches deep. Now this is my first time doing this type of project. I haven't done an edging project like this with concrete, so hopefully it'll go well. So my plan is I first will start on a smaller area. So if you come over here, I have just this small section here that I plan to do, and if I make any mistakes I just have a small area that I need to fix up. And then once I have that right and I'm happy with that, then I can start doing bigger sections, and eventually I'll just get better at the whole process. Now I'm just going to get this soil away. Carefully dig on both sides with the shovel. Okay, can you press now? It is. Measuring stick, let's check it. Is that right? I'm just going to compress it down just with my boots to the level I want. When I pour the concrete, I'll probably have more than this hole here, so what I'll do is I'll prepare some other channels as well. So when I'm doing the concrete, obviously the concrete doesn't wait, it'll set pretty quick. So I want to make sure that once I have this one here done and have extra concrete left over, I can continue on the next one straight away. Okay, now I've done the channel and I've done some extra channels. It's time to put my pavers in there and measure and cut. So I'm going to just cut some little pieces there and over there. So all my pavers are ready to put in once the concrete is set. I don't want to sort of cut it in the middle of concrete. I want to have it all ready so we can just go quick. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to cut pavers. So I've marked my lines on here and I've got just a little brace here. Now I've just got a regular circular saw and I changed the saw from a wooden one to a diamond blade. The diamond blade is the one for cutting up pavers and concrete blocks. So I just took this out, put it, in this case a 7-inch blade, back in and made it all tight. Now when cutting, it's very important to be safe. Glasses, so protection glasses we need, and also this can generate a lot of dust, so it's probably a good idea to have some type of mask to cancel that out, and good idea to have gloves as well. So I'm going to connect it all up and we'll cut away. I haven't cut it all the way through, but I've cut it mostly through. I might cut a little bit more, and then what I could do is just get a hammer and just hit it and it'll just come off. Put the line on the edge of this board here, just give it a hit. Prepared my pavers, I've cut them all right, I hope. So now I'm ready to actually do the concreting, which means adding water. It's always a good idea to actually read the instructions. I know for males it's hard to read instructions, but sometimes it's a good idea. This is one of them with concrete. It talks about the temperature range. Basically you don't want to get it too cold, like freezing. It's not a good idea to freeze. It talks about the strength, the minimum thickness you can have with the concrete, and how long it takes to cure. You get the concrete going now. This type of bag, it's really easy because it has all the parts needed to mix concrete, the cement, the sand, the gravel, all in one, so it's quite easy. Certainly it's easy if you have someone else to help you out with this. See how we go. So initially I'm not going to worry about the sides, I'm just going to do the bottom, and then later on I'll come back and do all the sides of all these. Now when you put a brick in, make sure it's clean and it's wet. Concrete sticks to it better if the brick is wet, so give it just really the bottom, but I just do the whole lot anyway. And we go along. Too low, so let's put a little bit more in here. Again. What I'm looking for is not so much the level here, I'm just looking for the gap on the bottom of the level, making sure it's about right there. So I'm happy with that. Check this side, it's lined up, happy with that. So I'll move on to the next one. You do find that you drop some concrete on the paver. You want to get that off fairly quickly because it'll dry and it'll stain it, so just got to be careful. You're trying to get the water in with the jet in there. I like to put it on the jet setting and just try to get the paver in, just like that. So we've come to the last part here. It's a bit of an awkward angle, but there's just a little bit left between the last brick and the rock here. I mean, I could just leave it, but I hate just leaving it unfinished like that, so I'm just going to cut a little brick there. I didn't want to cut it before because angles change and all that, so I'll just cut it now, measure it up with my metric measuring tape and cut it and put it in. Okay, I've just finished the edging of this one here, just completed putting the pavers all on the concrete here, and the next part is just to fill up the edges, which I use with these two tools, just any type of scraper to help, and just a little trowel just so I can smooth the edges. It's really hard to get into this part here, so I'm just going to use my fingers to push that bit in there. I probably want about halfway up the paver. Okay, I've pretty much finished for the day now. I've used up most of the concrete and on the edges. I'm just going to clean up a little bit. What I don't want to have is this left over here because it'll be difficult for me to start with the next brick, so I'm just going to get rid of all that concrete. Just put it in the bottom of, just sort of spread it out underneath there, making sure that there's plenty of room for the next brick to sort of go on quite easily. Once again, spread it out underneath there. Some of these edges here are a little bit too long. I'll get rid of those and put it in that channel. Final thing is make sure you wash your tools and the wheelbarrow. So I'm just going to put the water back in the trench here. It's important that we clean all your tools and your wheelbarrow ready for the next time you use it. And here we have it, the final product. So I've just covered the edges with a bit of soil and then I put mulch on. Makes it look so much better now. The bed looks clean. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, push the red button below.